Hi there, this is Kathy Goodwin of Strategic Storytelling, and today I want to welcome you to the next episode of the podcast, Strategic Storytelling. In Strategic Storytelling, we talk about how you, as a small business owner, can use stories to implement your strategy, to move forward, to simplify your marketing. We don't talk about stories as a way to entertain and captivate your audience. We talk about making your story a workhorse. So let's dive right in today. Are you paying a copywriter in such a way that you are incentivizing that copywriter to be lazy? I've had jobs offered to me where they practically begged me to be lazy. So how do you pay a copywriter? And again, although I now work with stories, storytelling is a component of copywriting. I now say storytelling is the most essential tool in the copywriting kit, whether you write your own copy or hire someone. So if you're thinking about hiring a copywriter, here are some ways to think about paying them. By the hour, by the word, by the project. We're going to look at each of these in turn, because your payment method actually will affect the copywriter's motivation and the results you get from working with that copywriter. Well, first of all, why do clients hire lazy copywriters? Maybe they weren't lazy before you hired them, but they've never hired a copywriter and they don't know what to do. They hear pay by the word. The more words you have, the more you deserve to be paid, right? I mean, it's sort of like if you buy paper for your copier, one ream costs less than two reams. So it should make sense, right? You go to the grocery store, 2 pounds of apples cost more than 1 pound. So 2,000 words should cost a lot more than 1,000, right? Not necessarily. We're going to look at that momentarily. Or they pay the copywriters after the design and tech. So a lot of times they're exhausted emotionally and sometimes financially, because a lot of times these services cost more than were expected. If you pay the copywriter first, you not only save money, but you have the energy to put into doing the copy, really what drives the whole website, the whole project more effectively. And a lot of times, many people tell me they have no idea of what the going rate is for the process or what the process should be. So if you don't know what you should be paying and you don't know what you should be doing, it's easy to make a mistake and hire someone who is lazy. Well, let's look at this. What if you pay by the word? You may have heard the saying, I didn't have time to write a shorter letter, so that's why it's longer. I heard that ascribed to Winston Churchill, to all kinds of people, but that's a common saying and copywriters understand it. Because if you know yourself, when you're going to write a letter, it takes a lot longer to condense it. If you just do a core dump and write whatever you think of, you can do it very quickly. But going back, tightening takes a lot of time and energy. If you've ever written a letter for a legal matter, notice lawyers always try to condense what you say down to the bare minimum of words. Keep it really, really short. And that takes skill, it takes time, it takes practice. And today's readers, your audience, wants concise content. They don't want to plow through a lot of verbiage. They don't want to plow through pages and pages. They want to get right to the point and move on. If you think about it, when you live on the internet, that's what you do. You think in sound bites. That's what you look for. Short phrases. And that's what you need to practice when you're writing. So paying by the word means that what happens, you end up paying more for people to be long-winded and less for people who take the time to really fine-tune the words that they use in your project. What about paying by the hour? Problem with paying by the hour is you're in for a big surprise. I once was talking to someone at a conference, and actually she had worked with me before. She had taken one of my classes a long time ago. And I said, how are things going? And she said, well, I just did my website, and I thought I would save some money, so I didn't call you. I hired this guy for $30 an hour. And I said, well, that's good. She said, no, it became $4,000 because he kept going and going, and we didn't have a stopping point. And I said, I said nothing, but I thought we could have done the whole thing for $1,500, but I did not say that. Bottom line, You get a lot of surprises if you turn somebody loose. In fact, now I've had this lesson imprinted in me so strongly. When I hire someone to run errands through TaskRabbit or one of the services, I ask them up front, how long is it going to take? How many hours? This is what I'm willing to pay. Cleaning person, same thing. They charge by the hour, but I say, fine, here's the number of hours I'm willing to pay for. No more. But if you finish early, I'll usually pay the same thing because I want to reward people for being fast. This discourages experts when you pay by the hour, because experts don't work by the hour, they work by the project. And it certainly discourages fast writers. Experts have been down this path before and they know what's coming, so they won't work by the hour if they're experienced. And it's difficult to monitor. So let's say I'm working on your website and I'm writing it for you, and I write a while, and then I go off, and while I'm taking a dog for a walk, or I'm doing my exercises, or I'm just puttering, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking about your website. Or maybe as I do this, an idea will come to me while I'm out walking. Do I charge you? Do I say, okay, that's a 30-minute addition to your bill because I thought about you while I was walking? You don't want me to do that. So what you want to do is do not pay by the hour. Instead, what you want to do is pay by the project and consider your return on investment. What do you expect to get if you write the copy, and what do you expect to get if your copywriter writes the copy? So let's say you're working on a website and you know you will make money from the website. You also know that no matter how long you wait, you will never write that website yourself because you don't have the time, you don't really know the first step, and frankly, you hate doing it. So it will never get done, and you will never get a dime from that website. So now you bring in a copywriter and you will get money. You can estimate roughly how much money you'll get, and that might be a basis. That might be your floor for what you'll pay the copywriter. That's it. On the other hand, you might have a product and you can estimate. Let's say, for instance, you have a product that you sell for $1,000, and I'm using round numbers, and you say, okay, if I do it myself, maybe I'll sell 2 or 3. But if I bring in a copywriter, I can get a stronger selling page, and maybe I'll sell 5. So maybe you can pay a copywriter $1,000 and you'll get $5,000 as your rate of return. That's not bad. Of course, I'm not saying you'll necessarily get a copywriter for $1,000. Some of them have minimums and some will adjust depending on your circumstances. But that's the way you think about it. How much extra will I get? One client of mine knew how to write his own copy, but he was busy, so he asked me to do it. And he was nice enough to write as a testimonial that he earned back what he had paid me within the first hour after the product went on sale. And after that, it was pure gravy. So he had the time to do something else, and he also got the benefit of a professional copywriter. So what do you really need? Remember that when you work with a copywriter, their best contribution comes before anyone writes even one word. For instance, we would look at what is your story. We would look at what is your message. What do you want to achieve? That's what a real copywriter does, not one of those fake ones who just gets paid by the word. So if you want to learn more, you can come to my website. I'll put it in the notes, kathygoodwin.com, and I've got programs where I can write for you, but more and more people want me to coach them to write their own copy. So you really get good results. You don't have to hire a copywriter. In other words, you don't have to choose between hiring the copywriter and paying the expensive copywriting fees. And they are. Copywriting is one of the most expensive resources on the internet or anywhere. And you don't have to choose between that and doing it all on your own. You can hire someone to work with you, to coach you, to be with you as you write. And I do that for my clients when that's what they want. So thank you for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode of Strategic Storytelling. And I want to wish you the very best of luck and success on your own story journey.